You put together a video at that time, and you
Correct.
sold it to the IOC. Basically,
Right.
IOC went, yeah, we like that. Let's try it.
Head-to-head, sudden death, it's made it exciting.
Yeah, and then in '92 in Barcelona at the Olympic Games, that was the first opportunity that there
Correct.
was to have that match, and boy, did it turn out all right.
In fact, Jim Easton had invited Juan Antonio Samaranch,
The head of the
to
IOC.
the games, the head of the IOC at that time, and the team round was already out of the Olympics at that time, and it was back in.
Because of the success of that round.
Exactly right.
Here comes the opening arrows for the match between the United States and Korea just shot an X. The USA with a 10, tied score right now. And there's another X for Korea. United States with a 9, Korea with a 1-point lead, Don.
Both teams shooting well.
You know, if you want to beat Korea in the old method, when it was straight scoring, there's another, that's a 9 just out for Korea. You had to rack something up on the board ahead of them quickly and keep the pressure up. That was the only way.
Absolutely.
And even then, it was hard. You know. But now with the set system, these guys are really tough. Okay, USA with with a 10 and 2 9s. Korea, solid shooting. We're looking at 3 10s and a 10-9 liner. USA with a 9 on that one. Korea with another 10. My goodness. Can you can see the monitor.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the center's all filled up.
Yep. Just a wad of arrows. USA is not going to be able to take this set unless there's a big issue from Korea. There it is, done. That could be a 60. It's very possible. You see the asterisk is illuminated on the scoreboard.
Looks like a 59, but I can't tell.
Yeah, I think it's a
from that
59.
angle,
But boy, they've got the asterisk lit, so there's the possibility it's touching. If it is, that's 60 points. And what are you going to do with that? Really, seriously.
It's hard to beat a 60.
Not
very difficult.
Flying body tackle doesn't even do it.
No.
You know.
It's not a good idea to block arrows either.
So 92 Barcelona Olympic Games. The venue liked it so much that there were complaints from the tennis venue half a mile down the road.
Yeah, from the noise, you mean?
From the noise from the spectators.
Exactly.
The Dutch showed up with a brass instrument band and drums.
Yes.
And were just
Correct.
rocking at the top of the
Yes, they were.
stands.
Yeah.
So an unequivocal success.
Completely. Going back to what Samaran said, because he'd already had the team round on the chopping block and it was already out as of the '92 Olympics. And after he saw the match, and fortunately the Spanish won that particular
Yes,
team
indeed.
round.
That went over
didn't
very
hurt
well
at
because
all.
King Juan Carlos was there too.
Exactly right.
He liked that.
Yes, he did. But fortunately, you know, that he loved the team round, Samaranch, and he told Jim before they left that day is team round's back in, it's staying.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's why we have this round that we are shooting right now.
Exactly.
Because partly our buddy Juan Carlos Holgado, along with his teammates Antonio Vasquez and his other teammate, they were able to win that gold medal in front of the King of Spain
and
in front of
Samaranch.
the
Head of the
real
IOC.
patriarch of the modern Olympic movement, Juan Antonio Samaranch. You know, he's the man who shaped what the games are today to a large extent. And our sport is what it is because Jim Easton had a vision of making it cooler to watch, more interesting.
Spectator, lots of spectator appeal.
And the bonus is it's not just spectators that like it, it's archers too. I think we have more shooters in the sport longer because it's enjoyable.
I agree.
So that went on to the next Olympics up until the London Games, and there's been one change in the format since that time, major change, because we went from 18 arrows to 12 arrows in the head-to-head matches. The set system is the big change, per se. Now, Jim had thought about a set system. You know, this was something that you and he had discussed. I know I discussed it with him back in the 90s, and the idea was, yeah, someday maybe, but the sport's not ready for it because it adds more complication. And the idea was make the sport very transparent to people who weren't necessarily involved in the sport, in particular the media.
Correct.
But now we've gotten to a point where it looks like it's working pretty well, I think, having the set system. How do you really feel about it personally?
I think it still works well. Either format works really well. It's that head-to-head match. I think that really pushed us to the top and moved us up in the Olympic movement. In fact, we've moved up a category since then, and archery has become even a stronger sport in the Olympic movement.
Yeah. Now, in the past, I've done venue announcing for World Archery for these types of events, like at the Olympics, 6 Olympic Games, and I always had a sense that the crowd loved it no matter what the format was, because they're at the Olympics and they're watching the athletes, etc. But it is a little easier to sense that the crowd is excited over the set system because of the fact of the comeback factor.
Correct.
The comeback factor, it helps make for a better story in some ways. And some shooters feel differently about that than others. But in general, I think it works pretty well.
Yeah, from the spectator appeal side, I agree with you.
Back in action here. Targets 1 and 2. USA's got themselves a pair of 9s, and looks like Korea's got a pair of 9s. USA has got one arrow that could be touching the 10 ring. That's not showing up on the board that way, but it's pretty close. I would say that if it's out by half a millimeter. USA with, we'll call it 3 9s for now. Korea with a 10 and 2 9s. USA is getting ready to shoot. Korea has delivered another 10. It's a 10 for USA. Korea is shooting at a little higher pace, a little faster pace than the United States. USA is going to need that questionable arrow now if they're going to hold off Korea, because Korea just shot a 10, and there's a 10 from the U.S. now. That becomes critical, Don,
Yes, it does.
because now it's 48 to 47 on the board. 46 is what it's showing right now. I don't know quite why. Hang on a second while I double check this. I see what should be, here we go. Yeah, that's a 10 from the United States. So here comes Korea, and we have a 1-point difference in favor of Korea, with one questionable arrow on the scoreboard of the USA. Now, if that arrow is touching, we're looking at the potential for a tie here. Otherwise, Korea just took this.
57 points for Korea, but the USA team have a 9 that may be upgraded to a 10, which would tie the set and give them a set point. So we wait to see what the judges' final decision is on the second arrow for the team from the
As a World Archery insider, do you anticipate that there's more room for adjustment, or do you think we're in a period of time now when we've got the matches, the method for the matches more or less settled? What's your opinion personally?
I don't see any major changes whatsoever coming in the near future anyway. It seems to be working, and I think it's important that some continuity and consistency in the format that we have. It's easier for spectators to understand and get them trained, and then we don't want to change it on them.
Yeah, and give them a good show, as they seem to enjoy. Like I said, they enjoy it no matter what the format is, but they enjoy it just a little more when there's a chance for somebody to come back from shooting, say, a 6 or something, because that just kind of sucks the air right out of the room.
Sure does.
This is exactly the kind of thing you want to see right now, where you've got, if it were raw score, Korea would have walked away with this thing, honestly, right?
Yes, correct.
At this point. And they still may, but, you're looking at a situation where USA still's got a chance. People are going to watch right now, and they're
It's a close
watching
match.
to see what the judge has to say, and the judge had a close look at that, and so the question now,
Now we're waiting to see if it's going to be a 9 or a 10.
and the judge is going to make that indication.
Fresh look at the field, and the Chinese Taipei team are back into it. It's all square 2-2. And in our featured match, it's Korea now, who lead the USA
Tied.
3-1.
We have a 3-1 situation right now. If Korea had won that set, be done. We've got ourselves a 3-1 match. Now the USA has a chance. So USA did catch the line on that arrow.
They sure did. It's an exciting match. There's some amazing shooting.
Have you been watching Woojin Hyek shooting at all?
Yes, I have.
He had a brilliant start today. He had a rough start yesterday. What's going on with him from your professional point of view as a coach?
I just think that the weather was a little tougher than most people thought it was. You know, if you saw the wind flags, they're blowing pretty good, and there was good gusts. But the main thing I watched was arrow flight. When that arrow got about down halfway, it just started swirling like it was amazing.
Because the
It
wind
went
is
up and
doing
down,
stuff
side
that you
to
can't
side.
detect.
It was just going through a complete jitter.
Like there's a stream of air
There's-
going
yeah,
across
there's
the
like
field.
a layer in there that was just really moving the arrows along.
And that can sap your confidence very quickly if you don't understand what's going on.
Especially when you saw the scores weren't so high yesterday.
Yeah, no, they weren't. And, you know, the conditions, they were tough. People felt beat up by the weather. Korea with a solid X, and the USA just as solid of an X. You know, if that were shoot-off arrow, it would be too close to call. It really would. Korea with another 10. Ooh, ouch. 8 points for the United States. That's Zach Garrett getting ready to shoot for the United States. Meanwhile, Korea with treble 10. USA with a 10. Nice shot.
Nice shot, Zach.
Yeah, but they're down by 2, and they're halfway through this set. The first team to reach 5 set points will win. So if Korea wins this set, that's it, done.
So 9, they could come back with a 10.
Yes, they can. There they did.
It is.
Yeah. This is a 1-point match right now, or in this particular set. Let's see what happens. Korea with a 10. Ouch. And that's the end of the story.
Yep.
Well, it was a valiant effort by the United States, but the Korean juggernaut is, boy, I'll tell you, unless something serious happens right now. That's all she wrote. That is the end for the United States. Korea with 59 of a possible 60. And how can you argue with that? That is it. Done.
55, yes.
Dominant. And the United States not shooting badly. I mean, you know,
Not
not
at all, but 59 is hard to pick up points on.
can't afford 8s against Korea when they're on.
No, absolutely not.
Big field and not too many wind tag type indicators out here that are reliable. You know, we've got the wind flags
And the
that were
socks,
were
right?
pretty wet earlier. We got the wind socks, which I don't know, but between you and me, Don, the wind socks as a shooter have never done that much for me. I mean, I've never felt like I could really get a gauge of what the wind was doing from a wind sock.
They'd be better at a higher elevation, that's
Yep.
for sure, to feel out what the real wind is doing, the wind that most affects the arrow.
Yeah, some of these women's bows are putting arrows up to 22 feet, and you know, at the top of the arc, and you know that flag's what, about 11?
If that.
Yeah.